I'm Lucas T. Shad, licensed architect in Livingston, Montana.
I'm William Hicks, licensed architect in Litchfield, Minnesota.
Today we're going to talk about one of the neatest things about a building is the thing you actually interact with probably the most out of every part of the building, the windows. So today, good architecture means knowing everything about a window. There's some very basic parts of a window that we need to discuss, just the anatomy of the window, just so we can start talking about it. The part of the window that moves is referred to as the sash. So in this drawing, this indicates a double hung window, and this portion moves up and down as well as the lower portion. So both sashes move up and down inside a jamb which surrounds the window. The bottom portion of the window is called a sill, and the sashes move up and down along the jamb inside tracks that are called stops. So generally speaking, that's the anatomy of the window. And there's a few different types of windows. This is a double hung. If the top sash does not move and it's fixed and the bottom sash is the only thing that moves, then it's called a single hung. So what's nice about a double hung is you can lower the top and raise the bottom and get air coming in the bottom and air going out the top at the same time. It's kind of a unique feature. Definitely a double hung or a single hung would be an older style of door or window.
Right.
Now, the remaining windows are pretty similar. It's one sash that hinges either on the top, the bottom, the left, or the right.
Right.
And these are called casements. And if the sash hinges on the top, it's generally referred to as an awning window. If it hinges on the bottom, it's referred to as a hopper. If it hinges on the left or the right, it's referred to as a left or right swing casement. So you can kind of go into the casement there.
Well, the biggest thing that you have to be concerned with in plan drawing of windows is when you're working with either an awning that's in a low position or a hopper, or a casement that hinges left or right, and they're near a walkway or a place where people may be close to the perimeter of your building. Because oftentimes we see guys that will put a casement window next to a walkway or a deck, and in that situation, when the window's open, it prohibits people from walking on that deck or walkway in an area where they need to pass by. So a lot of times in our floor plans, in areas around walkways, we will dash out the actual swing of that casement. If it's an awning that's lower than your head height, we may do a square that shows you that that may open up in an area where the walkway may be interfered with as well. But as we've talked about in many of our videos, coordination is everything. So just be aware that if you're calling out a casement window in these areas, or an awning or a hopper, that you know where the extent of that open sash are going to go to, so that they don't conflict with circulation on the building. And if that's the case, you may want to go to a fixed window. I would recommend a double hung, although in some houses people want a slider, which is basically a single hung on its side
Yeah, and I think also it goes back to the coordination.
Right.
Keep thinking coordination every time you're making some of these decisions, because in some of our houses we have had the eave of the roof come down to such an extent that a casement that opened out would potentially hit the eave of that roof. And so we kind of thought through that and opted to go with the double hung window because it didn't have that problem.
That kind of covers all the parts of a window and the types of windows.
And basically just keep thinking, coordination and how do all these sort of things interact with everything else that you're doing on the house.
Right. We can't stress that enough. Coordinate every aspect of your house and specking out your parts. I'm William O. Hicks, licensed architect, Litchfield, Minnesota.
I'm Lucas T. Shad, licensed architect in Livingston, Montana.
Remember, always hire an architect and use box shelves around every junction box in your house.
Thanks.
Thanks.